Hello, everyone. Setch is just away from keyboard right now, but hope everyone's doing well today. Hopefully the audio is coming through clear. How is everyone? Afternoon, hi. Hey, Creetosis, good afternoon. Sup? Hail to thee, sire. Thank you. Before the stream started, a super sticker came in from Sexy Mike 86, I believe. Let me go back and check. I want to make sure I get the right name for this. Oh no, it's been pushed off of the studio. That's fine. I can find it pretty easily here. Let's see. Yeah, Sexy Mike 86 sent a super sticker of a cute little dog doing karate punches.
Charge complete.
Thank you, computer headset, for telling me charge is complete. Anyways.
Hey people, Setch here.
Hello. Just in time, because I was running out of things to say pretty quickly without starting the video.
Ah, that's fair, yeah.
It's just mentioning the super sticker we got before the stream even started.
Oh, we got one?
Yeah, it was a cute little doggy doing, like, karate punches.
No.
Yeah. So, Pagan said he might jump on yesterday, but he's not around right now, so it's possible he just might jump into the call halfway through. Yeah. It's possible he might not show up at all, so whatever happens.
Yeah, well, whatever happens, happens.
Yep. And I've only seen a couple minutes of this video.
I saw the first few seconds, and already I was like, man, nice poisoning the well there, okay? Let's go.
I actually forget what poisoning the well is in the beginning. I checked it out yesterday.
Says, let me do some house cleaning.
Oh.
Yeah, both of them are great, fantastic games. Like, okay, you're just trying to butter people up.
As usual, hopefully there's some good arguments in here. Maybe he's, gonna have something convincing. Maybe he's gonna change our minds on at least some of the aspects of Fallout 3. It probably won't completely change our minds, but maybe he's got some good arguments.
I don't think I would ever be able to meet them at the point of Fallout 3 is a great game. I don't think so.
No.
But maybe there'll be aspects he's like, this is why, and this is why, and this is why, and I could be like, oh, I see that.
Yeah, maybe. Alright, guess we might as well just get started then.
Okay, so let's do some housekeeping. I know you guys are going to fight it out in the comments, and I'm not even going to try to stop you, as I know I can't really do that. But let's get one thing established. Both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are amazing, wonderful games.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, see, he's going to have to work real hard to convince me that Fallout 3 is an amazing game.
Real fucking hard. And keep in mind, everyone, this is only a 20-minute video. Many a true nerd couldn't prove Fallout 3 to be good in 2 fucking hours. This guy's only got 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That still hold up today when you them. This video isn't how one of them is overtly better than the other, but how one set the other up for even greater success than itself. If you still want to fight about it, the comments, however, again, I can't really stop you, but your opinion is wholly yours, no matter how wrong it is.
Oh. Oh, fuck boy. You, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck off.
Wow.
Oh.
Not a great start.
Well,
You're allowed to have your opinion, even if it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
it's a fair assessment to be like, your opinion can be wrong. Fine, but you've already set up that your opinion is the correct one.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you're already saying that you are objectively right.
Yeah.
Thank you. The angle I'm going to be driving at here, let's do a quick history of Fallout up to this point. Shortly after Interplay dissolved the development studio known as Black Isle, which was responsible for Fallout 2 and whose head staff made the first Fallout game, they released a game called Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, to absolutely disastrous results. Interplay was already in some pretty dire straits as it was, and this wasn't helping anything, so Bethesda and ZeniMax swooped in and bought the property rights to the Fallout franchise off them and immediately got to work. The result was
Okay.
There's a little bit more to the story than that.
Yeah. We need to emphasize Bethesda and ZeniMax bought the single-player rights, and Black Isle had to give in to them. I mean, it was basically big fish come in and say, hey, little fish, give us the rights to your single player. You can keep the multiplayer. We don't care about that. And they fought with them a bit. And Bethesda then finally, Black Isle capitulated and was like, here, take it. Just take it. Or Interplay. Wow. God, I'm going to get all these names mixed in here. Oh, I swear I've had enough sleep.
Well, it's a bit worse than that, too, because Troika Games, which I think Tim Kaine was part of Troika Games, they wanted to buy the intellectual property for Fallout so they could continue working on the series that they created. And Bethesda just had deeper pockets that, Troika couldn't compete with.
Yeah, and Bethesda wanted another franchise under their belt that they wouldn't have to do much work with.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, Van Buren was something like 80% done at the time, so it probably wouldn't have been a whole lot of work for Troika to just finish that off and release it.
Exactly. So, later on down the line, Interplay was still working on the Fallout MMO, and I got to play some of it. It was okay. Fallout 2 Online is a lot better, but that's a fan experience. But that's neither here nor there. But what happened was, Bethesda was then like, you know what? We don't like that you have any rights left for Fallout. So began bullying the shit out of Interplay and threatening them with legal actions like, oh, well, we actually own the Fallout IP. It says here, 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 and here. Even though Interplay's like, yeah, but it says you don't own the multiplayer, anything multiplayer related. It says we still own it. Well, ZeniMax is a law firm, and Interplay is not one of the big dogs. So you can imagine how this fucking fight went.
Yep. And just for everyone in chat, I do realize the video is still skipping a bit. We haven't quite figured that issue out yet, so we might have to rewind for certain key points. But besides that,
yeah,
until we figure out what is causing that problem, we're just gonna have to kind of deal with it, unfortunately.
Well, Troika ran out of money because their games, as great as they are, nobody bought them. And it sucks because you go back and play all three of their games, and they are fantastic games. There's a reason that every single one of them is considered a cult classic.
How high is the chance of a new Fallout from Obsidian? I mean, both are now a part of Microsoft. I don't think the chances are very high, if I'm going to be honest.
I don't think so either.
I would like for it to happen, and if it does happen, I would hope they would make it a good game. Hell, you know what? I don't even care if it's Obsidian or Bethesda that makes the next Fallout game. All I care about is that it's good. Just please make it good. I don't care who does it. Just do a good job.
Oh, they're saying, no, hey, what they mean by skipping is his story is skipping a few parts. Yeah. Again, he doesn't want to give the dirty deets of how all this went down.
Ah. Well, it's still worth mentioning the video skipping. Yeah. It looks like Pagan might be able to join soon. Anyways, let's continue on for now.
Was basically Elder Scrolls, but it had guns, also known as Fallout 3, and it was amazing and accessible to gamers everywhere, to the point that millions of gamers who were introduced to the Fallout franchise would have never been introduced to this wonderful franchise if not for the fact that Fallout 3 was not only accessible to people outside of the isometric strategy genre, but also a console-friendly game in general.
Okay, so that's not inherently
a
good thing.
And number two, you don't know that for a fact. Again, we aren't in alternate timeline. We can't see an alternate history. You don't know for a fact that Van Buren wouldn't have exploded.
Yeah. It's entirely possible in an alternate timeline where we got Van Buren instead, it could have sold 60 million copies and took the series in a completely different direction, and maybe maybe even nudge the gaming industry as a whole in a different direction. We don't know what could have happened. All we know is what did happen.
And not to mention, like, just because for the fact of it was stuck to the isometric RPG crowd, it's like, probably, I don't know when this video was made, but maybe you haven't heard of...
2018, I think it was made, or 2019.
So you've heard of Divinity Original Sin 2, and you realize that just because it's an isometric RPG does not mean a game can't explode in popularity.
Yeah. I also want to point out that I see this exact argument a lot, and I fucking hate it. That, you know, Fallout 3 is kind of what led to New Vegas exist. Here, let me just rewind it so I get his exact quote.
It's Fallout 3, and it was amazing and accessible to gamers everywhere, to the point...
That's right. That's the argument I see a lot is, well, Fallout 3 brought a larger crowd to playing the Fallout games. Yeah, that isn't inherently a good thing. Simply making something popular doesn't mean the game itself is good.
Yep. As we will thoroughly talk about with Skyrim. And I will gladly put my hot take out there that Skyrim is a 2 out of 10 game at best.
I haven't really decided where it should land on the scale, but we'll get there eventually.
I could be nudged to 3, but it ain't higher than a 3. Not with all the problems it has. Oh boy, no.
Yeah, I know for a fact we're going to be finding more issues the deeper we go into that game, but right now it's sitting at a very loose 4 for me, and I imagine it's not going to last.
Yeah.
Who were introduced to the Fallout franchise would have never been introduced to this wonderful franchise if not for the fact that Fallout 3 was not only accessible to people outside of the isometric strategy genre, but also a console-friendly game in general. That's how I discovered the Fallout franchise, and ironically enough, Oblivion and Elder Scrolls after that. I played the crap out of those games when I was younger. We all did. In fact, when it came time for Fallout New Vegas to come out, my parents did the smart thing and bought it for both the PC and our PlayStation because they knew my sister and I were going to fight over who got to play first. Smart move, Mom and Dad. You really knew your stuff. Meanwhile, while Fallout 3 was collecting Game of the Year awards like it wasn't a big deal and pumping out mostly good DLCs.
No!
No.
Oh, God.
So again, I'd like to highlight that this is another person that says they played it when they were young. That they were introduced to this series when they were young. And that's why they went to Fallout 3. So, yeah, okay, as somebody who came from the Fallout 1 and 2 era, no. I hate this whole idea that just because it was a third-person shooter made it way more popular. And that then you get all these young kids, and my God, we've seen some of the videos people suggested us do, Gen Z motherfuckers, who whine and cringe and fucking that the game doesn't hold their hands or tell them exactly where to go and what's the good option and the bad option. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate this sort of thing.
Uh-oh, we're getting F's in chat. Oh no, please don't tell me the stream went down again. Oh God.
No, I still see.
We're still up? Okay.
I still see it up for now. We'll find out if it stays up.
Chat, you're spooking me with all these F's. Anyways, we got super chat there. Honestly, $5 from a guy under a bridge. Thank you. Honestly, the more popular an IP gets, the more often it gets watered down and co-opted by normies. No, that's what the F's were. Dicks out and F's in chat for what's been lost. I should have read the super chat. F's for Fallout, yeah. F for Boogie. Boogie.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways. Sorry, I got distracted by chat, but I'm going to rewind this again just to hear that point.
Yep.
Mom and Dad, you really knew your stuff. Meanwhile, while Fallout 3 was collecting Game of the Year awards like it wasn't a big deal and pumping out mostly good DLCs.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, okay, yeah. something winning Game of the Year award doesn't mean it's good, okay?
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want fucking proof? Why don't we talk about The Last of Us 2, a game who lost 80% of its sales in its second week of launch. Second week, lost 80% of its sales.
Yep.
And has constantly been pointed out as being one of the worst, most trashy games ever made. And yeah, got all the Game of the Year awards because my message.
Well,
And I'm not even kidding. That is actually what they quoted as why, because it was brave to say the message. And I was like, what? What?
yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, award shows are mostly circle jerks and popularity contests. It's not actually about the quality of the game.
Yeah, like the Oscars, which actually have to bribe the judges to vote for them.
Oh, boy.
Oh, if you didn't know that, so this is a real thing that happens. It's called For Your Consideration campaigns. And what they do is they go to the judges, because they know who the judges are ahead of time, and they'll buy them laptops and special watches and cars. And they'll be like, here you go. Here, we brought Will Smith to your house to have dinner with you and your family. Please vote for After Earth.
Wow.
Stuff like that.
$2 super chat from Bat Ezio Man. Thank you. Fallout 1 broke my Gen Z brain, and I loved it. Glad to hear. Fallout 1 is a fucking great game.
It is.
But also, the statement that Fallout 3's DLCs were mostly good, no. Mothership Zeta was complete garbage. It was just killing generic alien enemies for like an hour and a half. There's practically no story content to it. Operation Anchorage is very much the same. You're put into the simulation, and whatever story details you can get out of the simulation, you can't really apply to anything because it's very likely to be a propagandized version of events.
Yeah.
So, what else? There was Broken Steel, there was Point Lookout, and The Pit, right. Unfortunately,
as I'm saying, I'm not talking about just The Last of Us 2. I'm just talking about if people want to know in their mind what a current day example is. But this shit has gone on ever since award shows happened. The Oscars have been this for their entire existence of, paying to get the awards. It's why a lot of us jokingly called, especially like the Spike VGA awards, holy shit, those were the not paid for awards.
Yeah, so it's something we've talked about before, and we're certainly going to talk about it again, but yeah, a game winning awards, or even a movie winning awards, doesn't mean shit to its quality in the slightest.
Yeah.
I will always hate Zeta. The members of Black Isle
Oh,
Studio...
hey, at least he said he hates Mothership Zeta.
Yeah, at least that's something we can agree with. Fuck Mothership Zeta.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Mothership Zeta. Oh my god, I threw up in my mouth just saying it. Ugh.
Anyways, he was starting to say something else there and we cut him off. So.
In Game of the Year awards like it wasn't a big deal in pumping out mostly good DLCs. I will always hate you, Mothership Zeta. The members of Black Isle Studio had reformed into Obsidian Entertainment and were doing pretty okay for themselves. They came out with KOTOR 2, which was widely received as an amazing sequel to the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. They did okay with...
Okay, so this is a story about a little studio that could, named Obsidian, who have constantly been fucked over by their publishers to insane degrees of like, oh, why are you so malicious? And when it came to KOTOR 2, Microsoft fucked them real hard because Microsoft changed the date on when the game was supposed to be released, thus forcing them to cut a shit ton of content and threatening that they would not get paid if they did not deliver it on time.
I didn't know about that. I haven't even really played KOTOR 2. Been meaning to.
If you want to go into a studio that keeps getting fucked by publishers, Obsidian are definitely one of the big candidates for constantly being screwed by their publisher.
Their own intellectual property, fill a void in their life. But then, Bethesda rolled up to them and say, hey, sucks what happened between you and Interplay. Here's the Gamebryo engine. Want to make another Fallout game?
That seems like a big mischaracterization of what happened.
Yeah, that's
Holy
a bit
shit.
Especially considering Bethesda are then going to fuck them and fuck them real hard.
Yeah. This brings me to another argument you see often in these discussions. Well, Obsidian chose to take an 18-month development cycle. Like, it would be... It's weird how often that argument comes up, when the alternative was not making the game at all. So what do you choose? Do you choose a development cycle is really short, or do you just not make it at all? I think they made the right decision.
Yeah. If their option on the table were, well, you can do a game, but we're going to give you a stupidly restrictive time frame so that, we can show that we make games better than you, or you're not going to get the game, touch the game at all. Well, if it's been one of your baby projects, I would absolutely jump on that and just try to prove them wrong, prove them that I could do it better than they could.
Yeah, and part of the reason they were on such a strict timeline, too, is because Bethesda didn't want New Vegas stepping on the toes of Skyrim, which was released about a year later.
Yeah.
Just gonna hide Discord for just a second while I check some messages.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same thing with, like, the Microsoft of today is the same as the Microsoft of the past, and the Obsidian of today, while it still has a lot of the core members, is the same Obsidian that it was in the past. So I was really happy when Microsoft bought Obsidian, because we want to talk about another publisher that fucked them over, MyCom, which is mail.ru, if you don't know what that is, fucked them over real good when it came to Armored Warfare. Actually self-sabotaged the entire project so they could steal it out from under them. Oh boy. I can go into a huge rant on fucking Armored Warfare and my.com. They are fucking garbage.
Well, stuff like that has happened with a lot of publishers. I don't remember the exact details, but I remember some indie studio had the publisher basically steal the game from them a couple years ago.
That was Frogwares, and the one that stole from them was Big Ben and something with an N. But yeah, they stole the Sinking City from them.
Yeah.
Like literally stole
familiar.
it. Actually pirated a copy of the game, changed the logos out, and uploaded the pirated version to Steam to sell.
Oh.
Yeah, there's
That
a
is
huge
fucked.
legal fight still going on right now so Frogwares can get their game back.
Hopefully they do get their game back, because that's fucked.
I hope so too, because that is completely fucked.
Yeah. Anyways.
This history. Fallout New Vegas is an amazing game that basically relies on everything Fallout 3 took a huge leap of faith on in order to be a successful game. When we remember that Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are an entirely different genre from Fallout 1 and 2, it really becomes important how much of a leap of faith Fallout
They aren't an entirely different genre.
They're both RPGs.
Yeah.
Being a different visual style isn't a different genre.
Yeah, being a different perspective does not make you a different genre.
Wow. Wow. That's...
Took a huge leap there. I mean, I guess because Fallout 3 was not an RPG at all.
I guess you could argue the FPS aspect a bit, but being isometric and first person aren't genres.
Yeah. Like, we call it isometric RPG as a subgenre categorization, not as a full-on new fucking genre.
Yeah.
Or CRPG for computer RPGs. That doesn't mean it's an entirely new fucking genre. It's a fucking RPG. They're all RPGs.
Yeah.
Except fucking Fallout 3, which we've gone into detail is not a fucking RPG.
Well, I'd be willing to say Fallout 3 is still an RPG, just not a really good one. It's Fallout 4 that isn't an RPG.
I'd say Fallout 3 is a shooter, a really bad one, with RPG elements tacked onto it. More feeling out of an obligation than anything else.
See, that's exactly how I describe Fallout 4, because, oh, hey, Pagan.
Yeah. So,
Glad you
Pagan,
made
have
it.
you heard the spicy takes so far in this one?
I just got in, and I've not seen this.
Okay. he just said, Fallout 1 and 2 are a completely different genre from Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
Yeah. And so it was a huge leap of faith that Obsidian had to take, but only because Bethesda were brave enough to take the steps first. It was like, what?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah, JRPGs are RPGs.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, it's a subgenre.
Yeah.
It's kind of
the-
like
the thi-
like Eurojank RPGs. They're still RPGs. They're just usually made in Europe with a very specific style, and they're janky as shit.
Yeah.
It's
the
still
thing
an
about
RPG.
Yeah, the thing about RPGs is that it is a very broad genre, but, you know, something like Final Fantasy or Legend of Dragoon is still just as much of an RPG as Fallout is. They're just very different kinds of RPGs.
The thing you mostly do in Fallout 3 is talk to people and make choices. I
Big
don't know if
disagree
that's
there.
true. I
Big
do
fucking
not
disagree there.
Yeah, I think you mostly wander around a wasteland, shoot at people, grab loot. I think that's entirely what you do in that game, and you barely talk with people and make choices.
Yeah. Even in many a True Nerd's defense video, one of his larger points he went on for significantly was how much exploration there is, how many dungeons there are to do, and which doing dungeons in Fallout 3 just basically amounts to killing enemies. So, yeah.
And I would have to ask, what choices in Fallout 3? There are barely any choices.
Yeah.
And as we discussed in the
Especially
video,
as the main story is concerned.
yeah, and as we discussed in the video, there are barely any quests. There's barely any side quests. There's nothing. It is
Yeah.
a big old nothing burger.
Yeah, it can't be understated just how little content there is in Fallout 3. There is 18 side quests. This is all the all the non-main story content in the game. 18 side quests. Morrowind had like 300. Oblivion had 100. I think Skyrim had about 100. And Fallout 4 had like 30-ish, 35 side quests. And keep in mind...
No, it was 50-something, because I remember I did the thing on it, and it was 50-something.
No, it's not. I could guarantee.
sure?
I am positive. I've gone through it enough times to know. And by the way, when we were talking about Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim side quests, we're not even counting the factions in that, because each of them have a few factions as well. Oblivion and Skyrim have 4 entire faction quest lines. Morrowind has like 10. This is all apart from the main story. And that's compared to Fallout 3's fucking pathetic 18 side quests. That's all the side content the game has.
Oh boy, you are absolutely right, because where did I get 50 from? But yeah, no, this is I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, this is I'd say less than 30 would be about accurate for Fallout 4.
Yeah, because one of their named side quests is literally just to account for you getting banished from the Institute. So it isn't even an actual quest.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to this.
Fallout 3 took a bunch of things and how, well, yes, Fallout New Vegas is pretty much improving upon everything that was made in Fallout 3. They got Bethesda to do all the heavy lifting for them, and both games benefit.
How? How did they get Bethesda to do all the heavy lifting for them when they literally had to basically remake everything from the ground up? Like, what the fuck? Also, a $4.99 super chat from Dylan G. Crete. You seem to be a fan of these sort of video essay videos and take inspiration from them. Were you ever familiar with the videos by Mr. Mediker?
Oh, yes, I was. I really enjoyed his content.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good.
I want to know how Bethesda did all of the heavy lifting. How?
Well, I think the argument here is basically, they set up the engine that Obsidian would eventually build their game in. But again, they had to make significant changes. The reputation system they had to make.
All the weapons they had to completely fucking redo, because the weapons in Fallout 3 are kind of shit, even though Bethesda tried really hard to make it the next Call of Duty.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's much less Obsidian's game being propped up by what Bethesda made before, and more Obsidian trying to lift this piece of garbage up and make something good with it.
Yeah. But let's backtrack a bit and see what his entire point will be. Because I did stop it right there after hearing with Bethesda doing all the fucking heavy lifting. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's...
Fallout 1 and 2, it really becomes important how much of a leap of faith Fallout 3 took on a bunch of things, and how, well, yes, Fallout New Vegas is pretty much improving upon everything that was made in Fallout 3. They got Bethesda to do all the heavy lifting for them, and both games benefit from that. Fallout New Vegas is basically an expandalone to Fallout 3, albeit a very big, well put together expandalone.
Expandalone? Oh, first off,
I've never heard that phrase.
It's not a phrase. It's a fucking standalone expansion is the phrase you're going for. A fucking expandalone? God, don't try to coin new terms, please.
Yeah, we don't want another fucking
Ludonarrative harmony.
Yeah, we don't want another situation like that.
Yeah. But also, it ain't an expansion.
No.
Okay? You can completely ignore Fallout 3, and it literally doesn't matter, because Fallout 3 was garbage.
Yeah. I was about to ask.
You don't even need to know a single thing in about Fallout 3 to play New Vegas at all.
Yeah, it's actually beneficial to not know anything about Fallout 3 to play New Vegas.
Yeah.
I was just about to be like, what are you talking about? Like, what does it expand upon from 3? I don't think it literally acknowledges anything from 3 as well.
Very minor things.
As like a bandage, because they have to somehow reconcile the fact that Bethesda fucked up the Enclave, that Bethesda fucked up the Brotherhood of Steel,
Yep.
and that Bethesda fucked up the Super Mutants. So they had to do little bandages to be like, no, these aren't the Super Mutants, you know. No, this isn't the Brotherhood of Steel, you know. No, this isn't the Enclave, you know.
Yeah, I think there's maybe one reference where they talk about the mutants back east, or the mutants that are east are crazy or something.
No, they call them dum-dums or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's like the only reference you really get to Fallout 3 in terms of like direct reference to the eastern side of the fucking world.
$5 super chat.
Go ahead.
$5 super chat from a guy under a bridge. Thank you. This implies New Vegas could... Oh, no, it's... There it is. This implies New Vegas couldn't exist in the Fallout 1 and 2 engine, as if God Howard's buggy-ass third-world engine was what drew us all to that game. Shaking my fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we said, actually, I don't think we mentioned it earlier, but a lot of the plot points...
Whoa. Drago Dot says, the fact you can delete a location, the simple fact you can blow up a town is a consequence on its own. No, it fucking isn't.
Yeah.
What changes in Fallout 3 because you blow up Megaton?
Oh, wait. Yeah, I just read that comment. Yeah, pretty much nothing changes. Like, if you blow up a city, there should be a wider impact than that city just not existing anymore.
Yeah.
Plus, you can get all of the quests done before you do it, and you don't even lose one of the main quest givers because she just turns into a ghoul somehow.
Yeah.
So
and
you
literally the most lengthy and complex quest in the entire game, and the quest giver survives if you nuke the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. To say that you get that there's consequences for
there
blowing
is
up Megaton.
No consequence to blowing up
zero,
Megaton.
literally none.
There's no reason to blow it up either.
Let me put it
literally nothing.
Let me put it this way. Opening the console and disabling the entranceway to Megaton pretty much has the same effect as nuking it. That being, you can't enter the town anymore.
Yeah. Oh, your karma changes. Oh, yeah, we don't even get into the fucking karma system and how stupid that is. Your
karma changes. Nuking Megaton is the minus 1,000 to karma, and the highest and lowest it goes in either direction is 1,000. So it's a range of 2,000. But it is so easy to game that system. Just donate bottles of water to the water beggars, or go to the church in Rivet City and donate caps and pickpocket them back, then donate them back, then pickpocket them back, and you'll be fucking Jesus again.
So Drago says, not existing on its own is a consequence. By your logic, then, choosing to kill or not kill is a huge consequence. I killed that bandit. He doesn't exist anymore. Big consequence.
Well,
What are you
It's-
talking about? Again, it should be a huge fucking deal. A city no longer exists, but it changes nothing in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
especially such a central location too. You would think Megaton would be this massive trading hub, but it's not. And
Yeah.
hardly anyone in the world cares about it.
Nobody cares.
Three Dog
You
will bitch
get-
about it. Liam
Yeah.
Neeson is mildly disappointed in you. And the most you ever hear about Megaton aside from that is running into random nameless traders who say, I was about to head over to Megaton, but I heard it got wiped off the map. Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of...
And not to mention, Three Dog only suspects you did it. He has no proof, but he'll still say you did it to everybody over the radio waves.
Yeah, oh my god, that annoys the shit out of me. No
Yeah.
proof, potentially damning an innocent person to death in
Yep.
the rest of the wasteland because of
Yeah. No, if they
assumption.
actually cared, again, there should be people hunting you for this, but no, there is no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah, the
Well-
world does not change around you. Hardly anyone references it. You don't lose out on any items or quests because you can get
Hold
them
on.
all beforehand.
Hold on. Could you apply the same thing to Caesar? No, you can't. The Legion will fall apart in due time without Caesar. There's many references for this in the game. He is the one thing
Yeah.
holding them together. After he's gone, Lanius is in control. And it's very heavily implied that he does not have the...
He does not have the charisma and the willpower
Not-
to
not-
hold it together.
Not
He
just
is
that,
a-
but just the general ability to run an entire nation. He's a conquering warlord, not a politician who...
he is a general, not a leader.
Yeah.
Okay, generals are leaders, but he's not a leader of a nation. He is a leader of a military unit.
Yeah, and those are two very different things.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, it's
there are
gonna
not
be-
people that hunt you after Megaton. Those
Well,
are
actually-
generic bounty hunters.
No. There is one random encounter where Megaton refugees will come after
Oh,
you.
yeah.
But the problem with this is, how are there any survivors from the town? Like, where are these refugees from?
Yeah.
You do,
And also the fact that it's completely random that they'll come after you.
you do lose the ability to grab the strength bobblehead from Lucas Sim's house. If you haven't grabbed it already, that's it. Well, yeah, that... Any
Yeah, but-
significant consequence from nuking Megaton requires you to not go through Megaton and get everything. And considering
Yeah.
you're literally wiping a town off the map, this should be absolutely clear to everyone that you're nuking a town when you're asked to nuke the town.
Yeah,
You should
plus
probably-
You're,
Probably
You
clear
kinda
it
have
out
to-
before you press the button.
yeah, and
Yep.
you're already. It's kind of a process to do it anyway, so you're gonna be going around the town anyway. So you might as well pick these things up while you're preparing to blow up the fucking town. Of course, you're gonna grab the shit knowing it's gonna be gone in like 2 seconds if you just leave it there.
Probably were outside when Megaton blew up. Where?
Where
It's a nuke.
and nobody goes outside
Yeah,
ever. We never
it-
see people leave.
it would be at least understandable if some of the NPCs, traveled the world or went outside for literally any reason. If for example, Billy Creel went
Well,
out
let's talk about
hunting.
that.
Huh?
Brenton was saying, don't forget the regulators. You're too evil. Die. Again, that's a consequence of the karma system, not a consequence of Megaton itself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at, is the Megaton thing has no consequences. I guess if you get the random encounter where some refugees from the town somehow survive and they come to kill you, but that's it.
Which, yeah, it's basically the same thing as raiders. They're
Yeah.
really not that different.
Pretty much.
A small group that when you kill, no one cares. You could kill them right in front of other people and no one gives a shit. So
The 3 mole rats.
Hey, the three
Oh.
mole rats are the greatest heroes of Megaton. Fuck you for talking shit about them.
yeah. in Tale of Two Wastelands, they at least they try to fix some of this shit. There's actually plants growing around and there's more animals
Really?
and shit. Yes, and they actually have Megaton hunters, a huge hunting party that leaves from they all gather in the middle of town at 8 in the morning, and they all leave and they scatter around the like general area hunting animals and stuff, and then they come back around like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and they do that. And they have, yeah, and they can die.
I actually
and all this
really
other
like
kind of-
that.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, they actually accounted for this shit. There's also like on the outside next to where the deputy is, right behind him to the side, there's a farm. There's
Really?
like crops being grown on the side and stuff. And I'm like, oh hey, they actually accounted for this shit.
Looks like I'm
Nice.
going to have
Thank
to check
God.
out Tale of Two Wastelands at some point. I never knew about that. Or if I did,
they
I
try to
forgot.
fix some of the things. It's still kind of but they do at least try to fix some of the issues that Fallout 3 has.
Nice.
Ezwa with a 10 Polish Lodi says, "Hey Crete, I love your videos and streams."
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Yeah, don't forget the 3 mole rats are the food source for the entire town. Yeah, even though they only spawn if you do the survival guide quest, which is fucking hilarious.
Caesar's death also has effects on particular NCR quests, so more change to Megaton's existence. I haven't actually done the NCR run, but I believe you. This is why I love mods that can make the games I like good. That's the problem, though, is you shouldn't need mods to make the game good. That's one of the big issues we all have with these games is, oh, mods will fix it. Well, no, you shouldn't need mods for the game to be good.
The mods just highlight what's wrong with the base game, really. When you see how many that you need just to make the game playable, it really shows how bad the base game is.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many comments I've gotten from people saying, well, I was going to say I really love Fallout 4, but then I remembered I have 200 mods installed. I've gotten that comment probably dozens of times in regards to
and
Fallout 3 and 4 and Skyrim.
And I'm willing to bet most of those mods completely changed the game. Like, it's not even the same game as Fallout 4. So to say, well, I still love Fallout 4. No. You like another game somebody put into Fallout 4's engine.
Pretty
That's
much.
it.
Yeah.
You don't like Fallout 4 itself.
$2 super chat from Peaky the Cat. Thank you. Can the Megaton mole rats survive the nukes? I sure hope so. I am more invested in those mole rats than any other character in Fallout 3.
Yep.
Yeah. And like this guy says, it should be a no-go zone, but it's really not. You can basically walk right up to the edge of the town and not start getting irradiated until you actually walk into the crater. Which is insane. That entire area should be completely no-go zone.
Well, here's what's worse. What?
Go ahead. I was going to say a funny comment I just saw.
Here's what's worse. Vault 87 was hit directly by a nuke, and the rads there go up to something like 4,000, and the freshly nuked Megaton only goes up to like 35 or something.
Yeah. So Super Shoko Kex says, yeah, I'm enjoying EFAP too, although it's kind of different today. Can't point to why.
New Vegas is similar to Blood Dragon, or that new Subnautica game where you're basically in the Arctic now. It's an expansion to the previous game that takes the elements of the first game and morphs them into something improved, but does not add anything entirely new or radically improve on the graphics or anything.